How's it going, everyone? Welcome and thank you for stopping into the channel. Tonight I have a overview to do for you guys. This is the ultra famous Winterblade Co. Factor. Yes. Now, this was sent in on loan by Lord Needham. That's where you can find him on YouTube and Instagram. He is one of my good buddies, a huge supporter of mine, a huge supporter of the channel, a channel member. He's always commenting, he's always in the live streams, and I thank you very much, dude. At this point, I've had this knife for too long, and he has graciously put up with me, and I can say I am starting to get a better of order of operations when it comes to getting loaners in. I was not used to getting loaners in on top of loaners, having my own things that I already had, and then getting things that I buy coming in. It is hard initially to keep up with all of that going on, and I'm getting slightly better at doing that, making lists, and what I need to do with said item has helped me out. So give old Needham a little shout out down in the comments. Tell him thank you. And while you're on your way down to the comments, why don't you make sure you're subscribed and give the video a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it, guys. So, we are taking a look at a knife that is basically from the future. Now, this is running on some sort of voodoo magic magnets. It's very similar to a crossbar lock in a sense. That is kind of how it locks up. Now, this slides up under the tang, and it does lock it up very well. I have not had any issues. Now, I haven't taken this out of my little studio area here, but I have done some cutting with it in here. I've done a lot of fidgeting with it at this point. And all in all, it's a great knife. It's a very fidgety knife. And I think that's between being fidgety and being inventive. That's what this knife is all about. This is one of the most unique knives to come out in a long time. They're unique being and meaning there's nothing else like it out there. Yes, there's other sheep's foot blades similar to this, and there's other handle designs that are similar to this, but what makes this extremely unique is that locking mechanism. Just extremely creative and unique. There's literally nothing else quite like it on the market. And we'll go over a couple of the little nuances here. We have a machined satin M390 sheep's foot blade here. We have an elongated hole for deployment methods. Now, one of the unique things about this knife right off the get-go is look at the location of that pivot down here near the bottom of the scale. And another unique item is this doesn't have a rear flipper tab, but it has a rear push button tab made from, I believe it's carbon fiber, but this little arm is actually on a pivot type system, so it will come out like this. It's retained by this magnet here that you see, and it's easily pulled out. It's on a pivot system, but what that does is that arm goes underneath right here where kind of like the choil is, and that pushes and fires the blade out. So that is your third way of deploying the knife. You have your thumb flick, you have your reverse flick. Obviously you can slow roll it out, but you have that, which is very unique in itself. You don't see anything like that, and it's very impressive. Another thing I was thinking about while messing with this is if you want it, now the magnets make it tough to want to take this into certain work environments, but that would be perfect for like wire type, you know, stripping, or I don't know. I was just thinking that the way this is set up now, when you get in there and if you were to start pushing on that, it might actually, yeah, it would start to push the blade. I don't know. I was thinking it would be unique. You know, you could use it for like a very light task as far as needing a utility edge in a sense. I was just trying to think of kind of creative uses for this part, you know, when it's closed up. But not only all those aforementioned things, but you have a titanium show side scale here, and then on the back side you have a beautiful weave carbon fiber. I'm not sure what he calls it exactly, but it's like a weave type carbon fiber. And then you have this really nice and wide deep carry titanium pocket clip that is held on by these two T6 screws. I believe it's T6. I've been over this knife quite a bit. Yeah, they're T6, I believe. And I'm not 100% sure why he went with T6. BESTECH is the OEM of this knife. These days, guys, I honestly do not know why you would go with a T6 screw. After all the information that is out there, all the complaining that's been done about T6, all the issues that have concerned T6 with the ease of stripping. And now there are exceptions where the hardware is very well done. It has a nice deep well to it, which, you know, aids in some strength there in the tooling. And I've come across some that are that are like that. Now, I didn't try to take this apart. I didn't try to mess with any of the hardware. I'm assuming it's pretty good hardware, but you know, you never really know until you take something apart a few times and put it back together. That's when it will kind of start to show whether it's good or bad or in the middle. But all in all, I do really like this knife. I wasn't that thrilled with it as a actual user type knife when I first got it. I thought everything was cool about it. The ting every time. Well, except that time. I thought the lock was cool. I thought how the pivot was staged up front the way it is, not centered. I thought that was cool. This arm that you can depress to fire the blade out, thought that was cool. The locking mechanism and all the magnets in it, you know, all that is very cool. If it was me, though, guys, and I had it my way, I don't know if it's possible or not, but I would rather have this fully enclosed here. Just a full scale, if you get me. just fully enclosed. Get rid of this arm thing. Now, this might need to be this way. I don't know for sure. But if I could have it my way, I'd just have the hole here, have this completely sealed off, and you would have such a clean looking knife, and a knife that you would have no problem squeezing that knife. But because of this opening here, if you bear down on this knife, you will feel that opening, and there's no way around it. Even if your hands are tough or used and abused and you're used to this, that, and the third, you know, you'd be fine for a few cuts like that. But if you intended to use this and be squeezing this knife for an extended amount of time throughout the day, you will end up with marks in your hand. And your hand will end up hurting at the end of it. I guarantee it. Just from squeezing it here, you know, before I started the video, and now I was kind of debating on what I wanted to say about that. And I could do without that. If it was between having this all solid or having this arm here, I would rather have it all solid. And another thing that I was thinking about was, how would this look if the hole was only about that big there? You know, kind of like your keyhole type hole or like a teardrop type hole. Just kind of like that much, right where the angle starts down. You know, I'm just kind of going over things that I thought could be changed to make it a little more user friendly, because you're not really, I mean, you can flick it down here, and you could, but I think most people probably tend to stay up top there with the reverse flick, with the thumb flick, with the rollout. All that stuff is done from there, in my opinion anyway. I'm sure there are some people who will like put their finger sideways like this and flick it out, but that's probably very far and few between. And the way this knife is designed, if you wanted to run your finger along it like this, like I just said, you could do that with or without this hole. If this was solid blade here, you would have no problem putting your finger there and just flicking it out anyway, is my guess. But those are just little things that I've kind of thought along the way that could make this a little different, a better user in a sense. Now the hole here, that could stay or go, as far as whether it's this long or, you know, cut it down to a quarter of that. Either way, that's, you know, not a big deal. I just was wondering what it would look like and how it would function, because you'd have a little bit more weight also on this blade if this was full of steel to about right there, and you would have that, and then you'd have a nice solid scale there. I would thicken this up so you could just basically run, I guess you still can get your finger in there as a finger choil. Yeah, you can. So no, that could stay. That would be fine. There's just little things that I'm thinking and coming up with, you know, that could be changed, or I wonder why they are the way they are, you know, but all in all, it's very unique. It's very cool. It is, from what I remember, now I only have used this a few times, but I do think I remember it being pretty slicey. I think, yeah. Now, Brian probably used this, and, you know, I don't know how much or any of that type of thing. But could it be sharper? Yes. Especially at the price point. Now, he used it, I'm sure. I don't know how much. But I don't think he used it that much. And with as thin as this guy is, coming in M390, that edge retention should be holding up. Now, unless he cut a couple 100 feet of cardboard before he sent it to me or something like that, I don't know that he did that. But I think it could be a little sharper. But it's sharp. You know, it's got a good fine edge. It's fine. But it could be sharper. That's all I'm saying. You know, I don't know how to feel about this knife, like, in total. I think it's cool. You know, it's something out of my norm because I typically look at knives as a work knife first. Can it be a work knife? Can I take it and use it and use it and use it and be fine? How are the ergonomics of the knife? Can I squeeze the piss out of it if I need to make a, you know, strong cut one way or the other? Does it have a good blade shape? Does the edge hold up? Does it cut very well? Does it slice well? Does it have a thicker edge for harder use thing? You know, just all of those type of things come into play. And this is more of a niche type knife. So it's out of my norm. And I've been trying to look at this for what it is. And it's very cool. It's very unique. It's got premium materials all the way around. Premium design. Very creative lock and all the works. I mean, it's just an oddball. It's a premium oddball knife. It's not really a gentleman's knife. It's not really a work knife. And I guess it's an EDC knife, but not so much either. I mean, it is, but it's not. It's not a tactical knife, that's for sure. So, I mean, I guess you could put it as an EDC knife. But this one has been very tough on me. I've actually filmed different videos on this and just never posted them. Because it has me stumped to the point where I really don't know how to feel about it. I like it, but I don't know about it, you know. I just don't know what to think about it. So I'm going to talk to Needham, and it's Needham, but I call him Needham. I'm going to talk to him, and maybe I will hang on to this knife for a little longer. Maybe I'll buy this knife from him. We'll see. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. But I wanted to get an overview type of deal done on this guy. There will be a full in-depth overview coming of this guy. This was more of just a talk about this knife. We will do a full overview and spec check and all that comparison and stuff in a separate video. But I just wanted to kind of get this was more of a first impressions. I shouldn't have really said overview, but it was kind of a first impressions overview, a light overview mixed together. But we will do a comprehensive, detailed overview of this bad boy to come. That will do it, guys. I love y'all. If you're still here, thank you. If you're still here and you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment. Love y'all, and I'll catch you on the next one.